What's up everyone, Karue here, and today we're gonna watch my first ever main draw match in an ATP tour level event. I played Hungarian Fabian Marozsan in the first round of the Geneva Open after qualifying. If you've missed those matches, I've posted them on the channel already. You can go check them out. Marozsan has beaten Alcaraz before. He is especially dangerous on clay. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He gave me an absolutely ass kicking. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch the full match. I'm not going to be commentating. Just draw your own conclusions. And then we're going to come back here on court. And I want to kind of talk about this experience. We'll be a little bit more interactive here on court. So you guys get a feeling for the texture, for, kind of what I was feeling on my side as the YouTuber versus, a player who's done really well in big events and has had big wins already in his career. He's young, and I'm sure we'll be seeing him a lot out there. So yeah, let's go watch the match. We'll meet back here for a little bit more in-depth analysis of what happened.
0,30. Long 30. Quinze, 30. Je mange. Quinze. 35. Contact. 13. Quarante. Avantage manche. Jeu et promenade. Mange.
And guys, just a quick break here to thank today's video sponsor, Groons. Stacked with Groons. I'm back on the road and competing, which means I need to bring my Groons with me. A lot of unknown germs everywhere when you're traveling, so you gotta make sure your immune system is running at full speed. I love Groons because it's a convenient all-in-one formula packed into 8 gummies. Groons is so much easier than traveling with a bunch of powders or pills and things like that. All I need to do is bring this bad boy and I'm good. And Groons isn't just a multivitamin, a greens gummy, and a prebiotic. It's all of those things and more at a fraction of the price. The 8 gummies contain over 20 vitamins and minerals and 60 plus whole food ingredients. Groons is more comprehensively and accurately dosed than your current nutrition solution. The gummies are also more bioavailable, meaning the ability of Groons to be absorbed and used by the body is greater. They're low sugar, or you can have a sugar-free option. They're vegan, so they're not gelatin-based, they're pectin-based. Gluten-free, dairy-free, there's no artificial ingredients, nothing like that. I've been taking these for a long time. They've been supporting me and the channel and my immune system. I highly recommend these. If you want to try them out, you can get 52% off your first order by using the link below. Go check Groons out, link in the description.
15 30. Frontal. Trente 40. Je mange. Quinze 0. Trente 0. Perdu. 40 0. Je mange. Quinze. Quarante 30. Je serre. Quinze. 40 0. Je mange. Zéro. 15 30.
All right, that was pretty quick. Some media outlets have called that a trashing. Honestly, I can't blame them. It was kind of a trashing. But before we start going into the match, I just want to give you some texture to the conditions and what we were having to deal with. My first two rounds of qualies, the weather was hot, clay was a little drier. There's a little bit of altitude there in Geneva, so it meant being offensive was actually fairly easy. You didn't have to hit, a super big ball and force anything. You got a little bit of help from the court, from kind of the weather, the altitude. It was a very lively condition, which is good for my game. And obviously I got through the quali, so I was playing some good tennis. But on the day of the match against Marozsan, first we were going to play on center court, but it rained a ton. We honestly weren't sure if we were even going to play. They had to change the schedule, take some of the matches out of center court, put it on the side courts. And kind of towards the end of the afternoon, we got a break on the weather. They were able to dry up the courts, which meant putting a lot of clay on the court. Humidity was high, and all of that kind of slows down the court and the conditions significantly from, what we were used to from the qualifying. It's not an excuse by any means. It's just you have to understand that we're dealing with this condition changes all the time as tennis players, from week to week, sometimes from day to day like that. So going into the match, I was confident in my game and how I was playing and all that, but that condition change made things a little bit harder on my side. But regardless of that, let's dive a little bit more deep into, how the match was played and how I was feeling. Obviously, I didn't have that much time to figure things out, and that's a big part of today's video. So again, YouTuber versus a top 50 player, probably even a top 25 player on clay. So let's go. All right, so the first thing that comes to mind when I think about this match is it's how well he dominated the first 4 shots of the rally. The feeling I had, it was just like I was being suffocated because I couldn't get to a place in the points where I felt comfortable. I don't know, he served in first ball or return in first ball, he was always able to get on offense faster. Again, for me, in those conditions, I was having a really hard time feeling like I was hurting him. Like, it wasn't so much that his pace was hurting me as much, but he was being very accurate. So if you we'll overlay with some points here, but he was able to, like, say, open me, to the corner here with a really good ball early on. And even if I hit a decent ball back, I needed a lot of depth to be able to get out of that. But even if I felt like I hit a decent ball that for the most part, against most players, it would have been enough. From here, he was able to put it all the way like here in the corner with like a crazy amount of depth, or really close to the other sideline. So within just those 2 shots, I personally didn't have during that day. Maybe my legs were a little tired from the qualies as well, but I just didn't have the speed to get to those shots and get to a place where I'm kind of neutral in the point. I was always behind. Now, again, if the conditions were a little bit more like on the qualifying rounds where, the serve was going a little bit bigger, I was able to hit the ball slightly bigger without kind of putting too much effort into it. That might have helped me. But every exchange that we were having, it just felt like he was a bit in slow motion. Like my ball, I'm hitting decently good balls and I'm trying to hit them big, but I'm just not able to do anything that I'm feeling like I'm rushing him or I'm taking him, putting him in a position that it's, at least a little bit favorite to me. It doesn't have to be 100% favorite to me, but like 55% favor will be good enough. So establishing not just offense, right, but establishing just neutrality in the match was very difficult. He obviously can hit the ball really big. To be honest, I think some of the targets he was hitting, I don't know if that's, his game all the time, because that would make him very difficult to play when you're sort of painting both the sideline and the baseline all the time with like the first couple shots. It's obviously very hard to deal with at any level. And we had the pressure of his drop shots. We all know he's a really good drop shot. Everyone was telling me that before the match. Watch out for the droppers in those heavy conditions, right? So he's pushing me back a lot, and then boom, he can hit the drop shot, or I have to sort of respect the drop shot and he can hit deep again, and sort of you're just in this no man's land, just trying to figure out a way to again, stay a bit neutral in the match. So that's basically what happened, obviously, as he's kind of racing through this match, right? And you can feel it like getting away from you very quickly. All of a sudden it's like already 3-0, 4-1. It's been like 13 minutes. You don't feel like you even have the time to think about a solution. I tend to be a decent problem solver and try to figure out, even if I'm getting trashed, figuring out a way to at least be in it. And obviously if the guy beats me, whatever. But I think the fact that the match was going that fast rattled me a little bit. I'm trying to figure out just not even how to win games, but how to win a couple points. So there's a snowball effect, mentally, that maybe you can get out of because the dynamic is going so fast and so one-sided. Now, I think some of you guys are going to ask, was it just more pace? It had more pace. I don't necessarily think it's that. I think when I actually got in decently longer exchanges, I wasn't that worried about the pace. He was hitting very deep, so that creates a little bit of pressure to go to more offensive targets and try to get ahead of the point. But I wasn't necessarily too worried about the pace. It was just like his ability to control the serve and first ball. His return, like my serve didn't feel like it was hurting him. It always felt like he had all the time in the world to like kind of hit into a corner and already put me like on the run off the first ball and then to the open court. And he just kind of kept doing that very well. So like that domination from the first 4 balls, it continues to me is what I look at is like, yeah, I just couldn't get out of it in those conditions. I even tried some stuff, some serve and volley, some things like that, but in that situation, it was just more like being hopeful than anything else. Now, it's something that obviously I need to improve, and you watch some of the best players when they're playing at their best. It is, you know, we grow up thinking about we have to hit bigger targets, right? Like that's what all the coaches say, like aim for a bigger target, give yourself a little margin of error. But once you get to a certain level and you're trying to, break through and you're trying to beat some of the best players in the world, you see how, they're a lot more comfortable, playing within, let's say 2 feet here from the sideline. And if you're able to play a couple balls in a row close to the sideline, kind of like what Marozsan was doing to me, where he's playing here and he's playing one there, that's a lot of court to cover. We all know I'm not Carlos Alcaraz here covering the court. And so, I need to be able to hit better balls in order to not allow him to do that. But at the same time, he felt like he was doing it at any shot. so it just became a little bit complicated to establish any sort of dynamic that kept me at least neutral in the points. Obviously, as the match goes, you're going to see a good amount of unforced errors on my side as well. The thing about unforced errors, especially when you're playing high-level tennis, is that we tend to make unforced errors because we're needing to force something. I can easily just roll a ball back and make balls, but players are going to punish you for low-quality shots. So as the match went along and we got in some longer exchanges and stuff like that, I was trying to match pace and try to keep the tempo high. I probably could have used a little bit more variety in terms of heights and shapes. I thought maybe I kept the ball right on his waistline too much, and I think that's where he was really good at. But a lot of the errors are, again, you're trying to get away of a dynamic that is, you're going to fall behind in the point and you're going to be losing more points by just kind of staying, too passive in the point. So I was trying something. I was going for something a little bit bigger. I was trying to do, again, some serve and volley, some things that hopefully got him out of his rhythm. Again, looking back, little variety in shape and maybe with slices and height and something like that might have helped. Again, you have to think the match is going by so fast. It's hard to be trying to do a million things as you're down a set in about 17 minutes. Now look, I've practiced against a lot of top 100 players. You guys seen the videos here on the channel, and never I felt like I couldn't play them. Now, would I beat them in a proper match with stakes? Everyone's locked in. I don't know. Likely more often than not I would lose, but I always felt like I actually, had my chances. I could play, and if I could play my game, I'd be okay. Now this match, again, he played really well. I probably couldn't create the level of pressure he's used to having to deal with playing top 100 players all the time, but I also felt like he was hitting really, really good targets very consistently, to a point where I don't know if that was just the day, if it was too easy playing me, but it was just one of those where it was extremely one-sided. Aside from that though, it was a great experience, obviously playing my first ATP main draw match of my career at my age as the YouTuber. And to me, it just reinforced the ways I think about the game, understanding that I know serve and first ball, return and first ball, those first 4 shots are so important. So for me to improve those, I've always been a good returner. I obviously need to improve my serve as well. But doing a better job early in the point with aggression, it's something that's going to help me get to the next level. And then it's all movement. It's all being able to cover the court when you are behind in the point, to be able to get back into a neutral position and then take over the point. You can somewhat overcomplicate the game. Everyone's going to say you got to serve bigger, your forehand is not big enough, all that bullshit that you hear. But every player, especially at my level in the top 100 as well, they're all unique. They play their own ways. They know how to navigate a match with their own style. So having true confidence in that, dominating those first few shots of the point is the best way to get to the next level. Again, shout out to ATP Media for giving me access to the match. It was an experience that I'm going to remember for a long time. And even though it didn't go so well in that first round, look at us. A couple of years ago, I was teaching lessons here, playing with Winston, doing all kinds of stuff, and now we finally made our first ATP tour level main draw. So we've come a long way. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm starting to play some better tennis as well. So that concludes the week in Geneva, and we can start moving on to my tournament here in America that I just played, Little Rock and Tyler. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below some more questions. I'll be answering some questions there. Also use the links down below to help me join the Karue Tennis Club, buy some of my string. You got the Tennis Warehouse link as well. A bunch of links there that help me a lot. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because that really helps as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.